why don't you deconflict with local enforcement when you operate?
Our officers do. We welcome cooperation from local law enforcement and want them at the state level, at the local level, to cooperate with us so that we can continue to conduct our federal operations with the safety of the cooperation that comes from those types of agreements.
Deconflicting and cooperating are two different things. They can overlap, but they are two different things. You deconflict when you plan an operation in another law enforcement agency's jurisdiction, like here, the court sheriffs, and let them know what you're going to do. This all could have been headed off if you'd spoken to if your people had spoken to the sheriffs first and said, we're concerned about this guy. Oh no, he's an intern, he's in high school. None of this was necessary if they had bothered to deconflict. So please, send the message down to your people that there's a reason that deconflicting is standard law enforcement practice for, among other things, officer safety. Will you do that?
Yes, sir, but I will tell you that our law enforcement are being doxed at unprecedented levels. So at times we've run into situations in sanctuary cities or in sanctuary states where notifying that local law enforcement on some of these operations has doxed them and their families and leaked a law enforcement operation, which puts people's lives in jeopardy. So they absolutely want to work with cooperative local law enforcement.
About that,
and in that case specifically,
I strongly suspect that there's a big difference
these
between
individuals,
non-cooperation and actual interference with your operations. But I'll reserve that to a question for the record so you can substantiate that. Could you explain this?
Sir, I'm looking at a picture of an interior, looks like a bedroom.
Of an airplane?
Yes, sir.
You're not familiar with that?
These photos are not accurate. If you're referring to the airplanes that the Department of Homeland Security has purchased and are purchasing, we're using them for long-range command and control aircraft that is dictated in statute by Congress for the Department of Homeland Security to have a plane.
Luxury jet with a bedroom in it?
Yeah, we used a 737. I've been on it once, but it is being used by other administration officials, and it is used for command and control flights for the department. The department has found that in purchasing our aircraft, that we will save the taxpayers hundreds of millions of dollars.
Does it have a bedroom in it?
fact, we spent $1.442 billion on ICE deportation flights last year.
Does it have a bedroom in it?
I believe it's being refurbished and not having a bedroom in it. So it is being refurbished.
What kind of deportee justifies being flown out of the country in a luxury jet with a bedroom and accommodations like this?
There are aircraft being purchased that will be utilized for executive air travel and for deportations.
Well,
if you remember in the past, we have used jets of this size and this configuration for deportations in the past. If you remember
this configuration. By this configuration, you mean with a bedroom and luxury accommodations like this you've used for deportations. Is that true?
Sir, we have 737s that are being purchased by the department to replace contracts that we have on ICE deportations. That's what they're going to be used for. And in fact, the Coast Guard is the only entity within the Department of Homeland Security that has jets at this point in time. They had two G5s that were 20 to 25 years old that are being replaced so that they can continue to serve our Coast Guard and our military for years to come.
About these aircraft. They've been reported as saying, although they don't want to say publicly this, but individuals described as senior administration officials have described these airplane purchases as the world's worst deal and an abuse of federal funds. Can you tell me what the Republicans on this committee who voted for what I call the billionaires bill that gave you the money to buy these jets knew about your plans to acquire luxury jets when they voted for that money?
The dollars for these airplanes was appropriated by Congress. In fact, it's mandated from Congress and rules that you've given us that we need to have a long-range command and control aircraft that will seat up to 17 people in the Department of Homeland Security for national security purposes. We are complying with the law. Those planes are being refurbished and will be utilized for that, and they'll be utilized by members of the administration and other components.
First,
they will also cut our costs, sir, by almost 40%. We are saving the taxpayer 40% by purchasing our own aircraft
May I
and
have a
operating
minute?
them rather than being susceptible to the contracts that they have today.
May I have an extra 2 minutes to fill in the filibuster there?
I'll give you 30 seconds beyond the 44
Will
seconds
you-
you got now.
Truthfully answer a question for the record about your role in stopping the civil rights investigation into the Minnesota shootings.
Sir, I don't know what you're talking about. I did not stop any investigations whatsoever.
Will you testify truthfully if you get a QFR?
Yes, I testify truthfully. I did not
And will you
stop.
testify in the District of Columbia Federal Court contempt proceeding?
Sir, I do not know what you're referencing, and I would hope for some context.
The Federal District Court contempt proceeding related to the deportation, contrary to a court order, of individuals to Venezuela. Will you testify in that proceeding?
Sir, I think that you're referencing something that I have a gag order to, but I can certainly follow up with you.
My time's up. Thank you.
Our mission today is to unpack a really tense, rapid-fire congressional exchange between Senator Sheldon Whitehouse and an administration official regarding Homeland Security operations.
Yeah, and for you, the listener, this is a fascinating case study in how federal directives clash with local jurisdictions.
Right, and how the exact same government action can be interpreted in just completely opposite ways.
Exactly. We are going to impartially explore both the senator's pointed accusations and the official's systemic defenses.
So let's start with the Rhode Island Courthouse incident. According to the senator's narrative, federal agents operated in plain clothes and masks at a state courthouse.
Which violated an existing agreement they had not to conduct operations there.
Right, and it led to this really severe mistaken identity anecdote. They mistook a high school intern for a 30-year-old suspect.
And during this, they're illegally photographing people.
Yeah.
They completely failed to recognize a state judge who was just escorting the intern to a reserved parking spot.
They actually threatened to smash the judge's car windows.
And detain the teen for half an hour.
Just wild. So Whitehouse argues this danger could be avoided through deconfliction.
Right, basically notifying local sheriffs beforehand.
But the official counters that. They say while they want cooperation, notifying local law enforcement in sanctuary cities or states has led to unprecedented doxing of agents.
Putting their lives in jeopardy.
Exactly. It's a huge breakdown in trust.
Which transitions right into the luxury jet debate.
Oh, yeah. Whitehouse presents a photo of an airplane bedroom.
Questioning why the government is buying luxury jets for deportations.
Actions described by some as the world's worst deal.
But the official has a systemic defense here. These 737 purchases are actually mandated by Congress for long-range command and control.
I think they seat up to 17 people.
Yes, and they're replacing aging Coast Guard G5s that are 20 to 25 years old.
And the financial pivot is fascinating. The official claims refurbishing these planes.
Without the bedrooms.
Right, without the bedrooms actually saves taxpayers 40% by moving away from expensive private contracts.
Because, as they noted, $1.442 billion was recently spent on deportation flights alone.
A massive amount of money. Then the exchange just turns into these rapid-fire legal questions.
First, Whitehouse questions the official about stopping a civil rights investigation in Minnesota.
Which the official explicitly denies.
Then there's the D.C. federal contempt proceeding.
This was regarding deportations to Venezuela against a court order.
To which the official just cites a gag order.
Leaving a lot of unresolved tension in the room. So why does this matter to you? This deep dive cuts through the political theater to show the massive logistical and financial complexities of federal law enforcement.
It reveals how a lack of communication can quickly escalate into dangerous situations on local streets.
Leaving us with a final provocative thought to consider. When federal agencies and local jurisdictions operate with entirely different rules of engagement and fundamental distrust,
how can the average citizen ensure their own safety in public spaces where those two powers collide?